Hello, my name is Corbin Smallwood, and I will be speaking of the controversial topic of interracial adopting. In an ideal society, there will be no need for adoption because all children would be born into situations where their parents could provide loving homes and keep them forever. The practice of adopting may not be for everyone. The process is long and other factors deter people from adopting. Adopting a child of a different race increases the deterrence of people wanting to adopt. The practice has been controversial, with some groups arguing it is culturally destructive for a child to grow up with parents of another ethnicity. The child's well-being should be the greatest priority. This practice has had a great effect on the United States dating back to 1945. Adopting has the ability to give foster children a better way of life and a brighter future. Ethnicity should not be a consideration when matching adoptive parents with children needing homes. The well-being of the child should be the greatest priority. The first few years of a child's life plays a great role. They form a base for a good education, self-discipline, and social skills. A foster care system, In a foster care system, children may not receive the individual attention that is needed. A one-on-one relationship is not accessible. More than 500,000 children are in foster care in the United States. Most of these children have been the victims of repeated abuse and prolonged neglect and have not experienced a nurturing, stable environment during the early years of life. Proper rearing shows to improve a child's chances of reaching his or her full potential. Adopted children are more likely to receive a good education and have access to more resources than those still in foster care. Children who aren't infants or toddlers are less likely to be adopted. The reason for this is most people want to nurture and have the full effect of the child's upbringing. The children who are left behind can stay in the system and may remain there until they turn 18. At this point in their life, they are put into the real world with minimum experience and resources. A child who's been adopted is given more attention and chances of success are heightened. Also, being adopted will give children financial support that they ordinarily would not have, and also give them more abilities in extracurricular activities. The average child or teenager faces many challenges in life, and foster kids have even more to deal with. Many of them tend to be emotionally hurt and distressed. Being in the system does not allow children to get attached or express feelings. This can cause many problems as they grow up. It can disrupt maturity, communication skills, and human interaction. Children with attachment disorders don't have the ability to trust and love, so they often grow up and take their rage and pain out on society. Children are put into foster care as a result of society's concern for their well-being. The entire time spent by a child in a momentary care system should be therapeutic, but may be harmful to the child's growth and development. Repeatedly moving from home to home causes stress and challenges the child's ability to cope. With these emotional complications, children would be extremely thankful to have a stable home and a loving parent to adopt them. There's commonly a surprise among the public when a local and well-known white family adopts a black child. Some debate will be present. Some cities' Department of Human Services make an effort to encourage interracial adoption. Although race is not overlooked when adopting, over the last few years it's become a secondary factor. We don't really say that you have to be a certain race, said Cheryl Ransom-Garner, the DHS commissioner. You just have to have love in your heart and to want to care for a child who came from a traumatized situation. A good amount of children are adopted each year. Within this good amount, there's an extreme minimum amount of races adopting an ethnicity different from their own. Numbers continuously show that it's easier to place white children up for adoption than any other race. In 1994, Congress passed the federal laws based around adopting. Their purpose was to encourage more interracial adoption. Even with a great number of supporters and legal action, the practice is still controversial. The National Association of Black Social Workers argue that it's culturally destructive for a black child to grow up in a white household. This should not be the main concern when attempting to get a needy child into a stable home that they can prosper in. Interracial adopting may seem discouraging, but it's greatly needed. Many organizations and laws have been made to allow this to happen. The American Adoptions Agency promotes interracial adopting by reducing the cost and shortening the waiting period. The experience can be easier and more enjoyable by allowing the children to interact with other people and children of the child's ethnicity. Teaching by reading books or watching television shows about the child's culture. Consider taking a foreign language to learn the child's native language. Having them exposed to many and all races. Finding mentors and role models of the same ethnicity so they have a confidence in their identity. And cook ethnic dishes from the child's culture. The most important thing to do is to confront racism. By not doing this, the child could become insecure about themselves. As the child grows up, parents should be ready to answer questions their child will have concerning their ethnicity and identity. A child adopted by someone of another race may be the best thing for today's society. Children will grow up aware of cultural differences and gain a tolerance for others' customs. Thank you.